So today I wanted to bring up a topic that I hear about all the time. A lot of people have questions on it, and it is up and coming and growing. And you're going to hear and see this more and more and more and more. And that is ADUs, also known as accessory dwelling units, right? First off, what are ADUs? Why are they here? I'm going to answer that for you. So an ADU, the accessory dwelling unit, is basically also known as in-law apartments or granny flats, or like I said, accessory dwelling units. And previously, it was actually very hard to get these things approved. And what's happened is, with the lack of housing that has been built since 2008, and the amount of people over the age of 65 here in Rhode Island, okay, which is roughly 18.9%, about 207,000 Rhode Islanders out of 1.1 million are over 65. And a lot of them are looking for a more affordable type of housing, and especially with their family, but are independent still and want that independence, right? So what do they do? Where do they go? Do they pay outrageous money to purchase a home, or to they're downsizing, but then they got to go buy something, and it doesn't always make sense. Auxiliary dwelling units allow a homeowner to be able to put, if the space allows, right, to be able to put a 1 or a 2 bed unit in their property, okay, to put an in-law. Now, you don't need any special variances in Rhode Island to do this. You just have to be within zoning law, okay? So we have a lot of builders that are actually coming in, and they're building single-family homes with an auxiliary dwelling unit, because that, let's just say if it's a single family, depending on the area, like let's just say a single family in one socket with an ADU is going to get appraised as if it were a 2-family, despite it's not technically a 2-family, and despite that the zoning in that area may not allow for a 2-family, but a single family. There is a I don't want to say a gray area, but you're able to put an ADU in that home, which is pretty amazing, right? And that ADU can have its own electric meter. It can have its own gas or oil, or, its own kitchen, its own bathroom, its own, 1 to 2 bedrooms. Now, you do obviously have to pull permits, and you have to make sure everything is up to snuff with the town or city in which you're doing it in. So you do need those approvals in place, right? Sometimes when we go to sell houses, we see, some in-laws or ADUs that, no permits were pulled, and you don't want to get caught in that situation, because what happens is the buyer is going in expecting to have that ADU there. And if no permits are pulled, and the buyer is getting financing, and the bank appraiser looks into that and pulls that, well, that's a red flag, and that could halt the transaction until either the proper permits are put into place, or until things like the kitchen and bathrooms are ripped out. You don't want to get into that situation, okay? So make sure you do all of your homework up front, get those permits and all of that up front. The nice thing about ADUs as well, too, is that they can be rented out, and they don't have to be rented out to only family. You can rent this out to whomever. And the way it works is, for every bedroom, there needs to be at least 1 parking spot. So if you have a 1 bed, 1 parking spot. If you have a 2 bed, 2 parking spots. A 1 bedroom can be no larger than 900 square feet, or 60% of the overall existing dwelling that is there, okay? It has to be the lesser of. With a 2 bedroom, it can be no larger than 1,200 square feet, or 60% of the existing dwelling that's still there, right? So, there's a little bit to know in regards to auxiliary dwelling units. And again, we're working with a lot of builders that are actually adding these in, a lot of investors that are purchasing homes and, AKA flipping, renovating, rehabbing, reselling. And they're looking into this because it's a viable option. It really is. And with the lack of housing out there, we're short, I believe, 24,000 affordable units in Rhode Island. So it's pretty wild. 24,000 affordable units in Rhode Island. There's a lot of people out there that need this type of housing.